Guys, welcome back to another video. Thank you for watching again. In my last video that I posted, it was a basic tutorial on how to drive manual. Basically, how to get out of first gear, how to shift, you know, a little bit of footwork, things like that. It wasn't anything too in-depth. It was just a basic, like how to get a manual transmission car going. I also stated in that video that I would be making an advanced technique, you know, a couple of advanced technique videos as time went on. Now, there are two things that people, I would say, freak out about or are scared of when they are first learning how to drive a manual transmission car. Once you get out of the basics of driving one, there are two things. The first one, I would say, is having a lot of people around you, you know, actually getting out onto the road. There's people in front of you, behind you, you know, left and right, turning out in front of you, all that. I would say that's the first scariest thing, especially when you're at a stop sign and have to like quickly be able to like go out so that, you know, you could beat, you know, the cars that are coming. So I would say that's the first scary part. And then the second, which is obviously the scariest part, I think, for anybody, is hill starting in a manual transmission car. So I know I've done it. Pretty sure you guys that have, you know, are just learning are going to do it too. When you finally get driving with no problem, you try to avoid hills as much as possible. I think that we all do it. You know, I do it, my friends did it. You know, you would try to find routes home onto how to, you know, avoid that. So this video today is going to consist on a couple of like learning basic techniques that you can use when learning how to like hill start. I'll show you like the beginner stuff, you know, how to get going, and then the footwork pretty much on like once you kind of learn more, how you can do it quick without any of these beginner techniques. So hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm going to be showing you like 3 different techniques that you can use when you're first learning. So hopefully it helps somebody out and it gives you more confidence as when you're learning more, so that you can do it the proper way like anybody else would once you are comfortable with that. So let's just get right into the video. Let me show you the first technique. Guys, the first technique I'm going to be showing you is the EBrake technique. So right now I'm on a medium-sized hill. It's not too big, but it's not a small hill either. Obviously, if I put the EBrake down, you can see I'm starting to roll back. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but I'm starting to roll back right away. So it's not a small hill. Basically, the EBrake technique. So what you're going to do, let me show you. Let me put the camera down a little bit. So we have the EBrake up, car's in neutral, and what you're going to want to do, you're going to clutch in, and you're going to first gear. You're going to rev the car up a little bit while in first gear with the EBrake up. So obviously right now, I'm clutch in, not on the brake. E-brake is up, first gear, I'm not rolling back anywhere. So you're going to give it a little bit of gas, maybe like 1500 RPMs. And you're gonna start letting off the clutch slowly. You're gonna feel the biting point in the clutch that I explained in the first video. Then you're gonna let the E-brake down, and we didn't roll back, and you start rolling forward. That's the first technique. So let me do it one more time. So we're in neutral, E-brake up, like so. So you're gonna clutch in, first gear, E-brake is up. So again, you're gonna give it gas, get to the biting point of the clutch. You're gonna feel the car start to vibrate, want to go forward. You let the E-brake down, and like normal. And that is the E-brake technique. So pretty much what it does, it allows you to not roll back into the person behind you, so that, you know, you don't cause an accident. So you're not gonna roll back into the person behind you, and, you know, it'll give you kind of a gauge of like how much gas you need to give and how much clutch you got to give when you're going up a hill. It'll give you like a beginner starting point for when you are trying to get up any kind of hill. So this could be used for small little hills if you're afraid, medium hills, big hills. The technique works for everything, because when the E-brake is up, obviously the car's not going to roll back. And as long as you don't let the clutch out all the way, you're not going to stall. So once you hold it at that biting point, you can put the E-brake down and you're going to proceed to move forward. So that's the first technique. That is the E-brake technique when you're learning on a hill. So guys, the second technique to driving on a hill with a manual transmission car. First I showed you the E-brake. Now, there's a technique that I used to like to teach my friends when I were teaching them how to drive a manual. That's what I would do. So pretty much, I'll just show you with my feet. So right now I got the E-brake up, car's in neutral, fine. So we're gonna push the clutch in, and we're gonna start basically like if you're not gonna use the E-brake at all. E-brake's gonna be down, we're in first gear. My foot's on the clutch, my foot's on the brake. So what I like to teach people is let the clutch out just a little bit. So I'm letting the clutch out a little bit right before the biting point, right? Nothing is happening. It's kind of like dead play in the clutch, but you know, you're not gonna worry about riding the clutch. You're not gonna be burning the clutch because it's not disengaging yet. It's not at the biting point to disengage, so you're not really doing anything. So you're gonna let it out just a little bit. right before, or like an inch or two before your catch point. So when it's time to get going, you could quickly just, you're already right there and you're rolling forward. So I'm gonna do that one more time. So we're gonna roll back a little bit back onto the hill. So my foot's on the clutch and my foot's on the brake. I'm in first gear. You're gonna let out the clutch just a little bit. Right there, just a little bit. Let's say you're at a hill, light turns green. You don't wanna hit the person behind you. So now when you're gonna get going, you can let off the brake quickly, clutch, and there you go. You're already right there. You get what I'm saying? So again, I'll show you one more time. Go back into neutral, right? Okay, let's say we're at a traffic light. Okay, yellow, we got a yellow light, clutch in, first gear, clutch and brake. Oh look, you know, I don't wanna roll back, I'm just learning. Clutch out a little bit. Oh look, the light turns green. And you're already right there. You're already at the clutch, almost at the biting point, so you won't have to worry about rolling back. I think that's a good technique. So pretty much, just to summarize, obviously you saw the footwork, but you wanna put the car in gear, you're gonna clutch in, again, you're gonna cheat a little bit, you're gonna let the clutch out just a little bit right before the biting point, so that when it's time to transfer your foot from the brake onto the gas and let out the clutch, you're gonna be right there, ready to roll. You're not gonna be rolling into the people behind you. You're gonna roll back, you know, barely anything, if at all you're gonna roll back. You might not roll back at all because you're gonna be there already. There's gonna be no time to have the car's weight pull you backwards. So that's the second technique. So we went over the e-brake technique, and I don't really know what to call this technique. It's, I mean, like, I guess you're just cheating a little bit with the clutch. I have no idea, but that's the way I like to teach people when they're learning. It gives them a feel like it's a little more advanced than the emergency brake, because the e-brake is for just straight beginners. You don't want to roll back, fine. But this technique that I just showed you is for, like, you know what, I need to get my footwork ready to go, and, you know, but I'm not 100% confident. I don't want to stall. So you just mentally prepare yourself, you know, a couple of seconds before that light turns green, or if you're at a stop sign on a hill, or there's traffic on a hill, you're able to compensate for that. So that is the second technique. And now we're gonna go into the third technique of this video. All right, guys, now, last but not least, obviously, is just how to actually start on a hill. You don't want to be the kid that uses the e-brake. You don't want to be the kid that has to cheat off his clutch a little bit so that he doesn't, you know, worry about rolling forward. You want to be able to get on a hill and just be 100% super confident in what you're doing in your car. Fine, I get that. So when you start on flatland, right now I'm in neutral, I'm just going to show you, you know, remember, you clutch in, brake, and then slowly clutch, gas, and you get going, right? Fine, no problem. But you're on flat surface. You're not going to roll back. You're not going to go forward. It gives you enough time, you know, if you're learning, just to go back and forth, and just do it that way. When you're on a hill, you don't have that time. You don't have a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds to go, especially if you're on a bigger hill. Once you let off, you know, your brake and you start to clutch off, you're already rolling backwards. You got to be able to react fast. You have to be able to do it fast. So let me show you, like, if I'm in first gear and I let off the brake, look, I'm already rolling back that fast. So look, once I first gear, I let off the brake, I get on the, I'm already rolling back. I'm already rolling back. There's no time for me to do anything. I have to be able to react fast. So what do? You got to give a little more gas, and you're going to have to just know where the catch point of your clutch is perfectly. And if you can do that, you'll be perfectly fine. Yes, when you're on a big hill, you might ride the clutch a little bit. That's perfectly fine. You don't want to give it too much gas either, where you're going to do a burnout going up the hill. You get what I'm saying? So let's start. We're going to go into first gear, foot on the clutch, foot on the brake. We're in first gear, right? So I'm on the hill. I'm not going to be using the e-brake. I'm not going to cheat on the clutch. As you can see, my foot's all the way down. The best way to do it is like this. You're going to come off the brake quickly as you're letting off the clutch. Right there. Gas, I'm at the biting point, and I'm rolling forward already. Let's do that one more time. So clutch in, we're in first gear, brake, we're gonna do it one more time. Ready? So you want to know where the biting point of the clutch is, where the clutch grabs, and you're gonna give it just enough gas to be able to make it up the hill. So we're gonna do it really quickly, right there. And you're gonna hold it, and you're gonna roll forward, and then it's just like driving a normal flat surface again. So we're here again. I'm gonna put the e-brake up. All right. We're gonna, okay, we're at a light, a stop sign. We're gonna clutch in. We're on the brake. Here we go. First gear. All right. I don't want to roll back into anybody. So everything happens simultaneously. So you're like this on the clutch on the brake. you're gonna want, once you're off the brake, you're already letting off the clutch into the gas, and they're gonna meet in the middle, basically where the catch point of the clutch is, and then as you start going up the hill, you can let out more and more and more, and it's like driving on a flat surface. So once again, here's the footwork, as I barely roll back, and that's it. Once again, here I'm rolling back. Here we go. I'll do it a couple more times. One more time. And that's pretty much the technique. I mean, it's pretty simple. It does get scary. The best thing you can do, obviously, is just know where your clutch grabs as you're doing it, and you just have to be confident. You don't want to give the car too much gas. You know, you might want to rev it up to about 1,500 RPMs, maybe a little more depending on the size of the hill. As you learn and as you start going forward in learning how to drive on a hill in a manual car, and you start learning your own personal car, you'll know how much gas you could give it, enough safe. You'll know where the clutch is going to grab. You're going to know all the points in your throttle and your clutch and your brake so that everything is smooth when you're taking off on a hill. You won't ever be scared of doing it again. And that is the most important part when you're driving, obviously. So that is the last, I wouldn't call it a technique, that's the way you're supposed to do it once you learn how to drive. So guys, that's going to conclude the video of how to hill start in a manual transmission car. The first two techniques, the e-brake and, you know, where you're going to cheat out your clutch a little bit when you're going, are more for beginners. That's not going to be for the advanced person or somebody that's been driving for a couple of weeks that's already comfortable with their car. They're going to be doing it the way that I did in the last video, where you already know where your clutch is. You're going to be able to pick your clutch up quick and be able to give it gas at the same time, not do a burnout, not roll back too much, and just be able to take off fluently. If you're learning, I suggest, if you'd like to, it's, you know, you shouldn't be embarrassed to do it, because I know people that have done it. I've done it myself when I'm learning, is use your e-brake when you're first learning. If you're really, you know, scared that you're gonna hit somebody, or, you know, you're just not confident in yourself yet to do it, use the e-brake. It's super simple. You're not gonna roll back anywhere, and it gives you a couple of seconds so that you can basically practice your clutch and your gas, like if you're on a flat surface where you're not gonna roll forward, you're gonna roll back. So that's the first one. Or, like I said, once you're getting more comfortable and you don't want to use the e-brake anymore, you could use the second technique that I showed you, letting out the clutch just a little bit before your catch point, so that you get the whole motion of the car rolling back on you a little bit, but you're able to balance yourself out as you're going forward with the weight of the car going back. That's the second technique. Obviously, if you are ready to kind of take on more hills while you're driving. And then in the end, obviously, you're going to do it like normal, which is what I showed you in the last clip. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully this helps somebody out. Don't be embarrassed to do what you got to do. Who cares what your friends say? Who cares what people say? Because it's all about learning. We all need to learn, obviously. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be making probably 2 more videos on advanced techniques. One's going to be, you know, different styles of downshifting in any kind of car. And I'm also going to be showing you guys double clutching, which, you know, is kind of like a dead art. It's like a lost art kind of thing, but I guess it's kind of good to know in certain situations, so I'll be showing you guys that too. So hopefully everybody's having a good day. Unfortunately, it's getting kind of cold here in Jersey, so it's better to get as many videos out before, you know, the cold kind of ruins that. So everybody have a good day. Thank you for watching, and more videos are to come. Like, comment, and subscribe, please, because the channel has been doing pretty well as of recently, and I obviously, you know, enjoy, and, you know, there's going to be car parts and installs coming soon for my sport wagon. I actually just was able to rent out like a 3-car garage that I could be working in that is actually down the block from my house. So it's going to be really nice to actually be able to work on the cars in the winter and actually do installs and not have, you know, 4 or 5 months of just dead content. So guys, have a good day. Thank you for watching.